praise is due to the Most High. All honor and glory is yours. Hello, another episode of the Focus Daily Show. Today, we're going to get a little bit more into this Fusionist legislation. Fugitive was kind of an appropriate word because not only am I revealing this truth as a chance for redemption to all, I'm reading the charges against those that perpetrated these heinous acts against the Afro-Americans, the children of God. Well, during the late 1800s, when this new form of democratic government began to take place, the Afro-Americans started to get intimidated, and groups such as the Ku Klux Klan attempted to keep them from exercising their newly acquired voting rights. Try to get these words right. And despite that, these Afro-Americans begin to rise up and fight back. So, to chop them back down and put them in their place, so to say, this Fusionist party began to introduce legislature that prevented them from exercising their right fully. This when things such as Jim Crow laws began to be introduced. But it was merely just voter intimidation. So, hello, here we go. Today, we're going to read from a selection called, let's get to it, Election Disenfranchisement. I use that word disenfranchisement a lot, but it really is an appropriate term. It really is the appropriate vocabulary. All right. Let me slow down so we can get to it and get to it right. Election disenfranchisement. In the decades following Reconstruction / the Lincoln era, black constituency in the South disappeared faster than the Western frontier. Oh man, this is not funny. And by the turn of the century, Southern white Democrats had effectively shut Afro-Americans and opposition parties out of the political process. And see, folks, the key words right here is Democrats. So it's this same democratic government or democratic mind state that's holding us back today. Look at the world we live in right now. Gas is higher than it ever been. Is it a coincidence that it's under this same democratic regime? I think not. All right. Afro-Americans and opposition parties were being pushed out of political process using a toxic mix of varying law mechanisms and extra legal violence. They rewrote state constitutions to codify segregation and implemented a maze of local and statewide electoral devices between 1889 and 1908, including poll taxes, the grandfather clause, and literacy tests. Poll taxes, which were widely adopted and hugely successful at excluding black voters, required prospective voters to pay as much as $2. Might as well have said 200 in them days. A considerable sum of money. And, so-called grandfather clauses based on an individual's family voting history were legal mechanisms enshrined in Southern state laws, which were designed to disenfranchise the Afro-Americans, while simultaneously preserving the right to vote for the foreign invaders, which varied by state. Grandfather clauses were effective in eliminating black voting rights by linking an individual's right to vote to the voting rights or registration status of their descendants. Finally, literacy tests went beyond evaluating whether or not a potential voter could read. They also asked a range of questions related to arcane knowledge of state and federal laws, among other subjects. Give the people a chance to soak that in. See, we've all heard this story before. None of this particular information is anything new to us. But we have to look at it from the right perspective. We have to look at it with the discernment of the previous information that I've been introducing to you. This was the Afro-American lands. Technically and legally, by the laws of God, the Afro-Americans were the only people allowed to politicize or vote on anything. The foreigners were just recently given a right to participate due to the Lincoln era. But now suddenly they begin to manipulate and use legal mechanisms to disenfranchise the children of God on the next level. Shame. God sees this. God is well aware of what's going on. And I am being sent as a precursor to warn anyone still attempting to disenfranchise the Afro-Americans that their day has come. With this truth, I am being sent as a chance for redemption, grace, and salvation for all. So take a chance to ingest this information, for you can come back home to the Word and to the Lord. Open up that Bible. Read. Everything that I'm presenting is right there in that book. And if you are worthy, you will be able to discover key things. Maybe not all of it, but certain information will begin to rise from the pages so that you can see and truly become free and come back home. Focus Daily, y'all.